everyone. We'll just give a couple of minutes for people to join in. Welcome one and all. Okay, let's get started. Welcome again to the Clay Studios oil painting, sketching, free streaming session, live streaming session. I'm Gomati Sivasankaran, and I'm going to just walk you through the things that I'm going to use today before we are ready to get started. What are we painting today? We are going to paint hands like these, joining hands. So last time we did something similar to that, isn't it? We did hands, but then they were really away from each other. Now it's going to be joined together. We're going to join the hands and do the coloring also. So this is what we are going to do now. And I'm going to just give you a short briefing on the things that I'm using and how to use them and so on. So we'll get started. Moving this away. For drawing, I am using a drawing paper that is 120 grams. It's from the drawing paper pad. So this is what I'm going to use to draw. And for painting, I'm using a different uh, paper. That's because I want to show it in a darker way, what exactly is being done here, while you can follow. Yeah. So that's exactly why we are doing it 2 times here. But then for you, you can do it on one paper. Yeah. So I will be drawing on this drawing. everyone. We'll just give a couple of minutes for people to join in. Welcome one and all. Okay, let's get started. Welcome again to the Clay Studios oil painting, sketching, free streaming session, live streaming session. I'm Gomati Sivasankaran, and I'm going to just walk you through the things that I'm going to use today before we are ready to get started. What are we painting today? We are going to paint hands like these, joining hands. So last time we did something similar to that, isn't it? We did hands, but then they were really away from each other. Now it's going to be joined together. We're going to join the hands and do the coloring also. So this is what we are going to do now. And I'm going to just give you a short briefing on the things that I'm using and uh, how to use them and so on. So we'll get started. Moving this away. For drawing, I am using a
to be another equipment change, and let's see that works. Okay, just change the equipment again. Could you confirm? Okay, it's working. I can thank you. Thank you so much, Chamundeshwari. If you are also able to hear me, if you would just type in a message, it will be helpful. Thank you. All right, superb. I think we are we've gone a little bit of testing the equipments and so on. So sorry for that. Let's fantastic. Thank you. We are going to get started with drawing the hands, but before that, I'm going to draw some lines, and I will use the corner to corner. Okay, so I'll make sure that I am drawing a line across. Yeah, so I'm going to draw a line like this, completely across. Can you see how I've done? And I have drawn really very thick because you should be able to see what I am doing. That's exactly why. But when you draw, you're going to draw it very thin, very light. And I will do another line like this, going across. Oh, we made a cross mark. Yes, we made a cross mark, and then right in between we are going to make another line. So it's similar to what we did in the last class. So we made 3 lines, that is going across, 2 lines going across and 1 straight. So it's giving you 6 pieces like a pizza. 6 pieces to work on. Yeah, so this is what you're going to do. And once you're done, you will not need the ruler anymore. So you will go on to work with only the pencil. And for that, when you get started, when you do not know something, the easiest way is to start with a circle. And how do we make a circle? We make a circle by going round and round. So I'm not going to touch the tip of my pencil. It's not going to land on my paper, but I will keep on moving my hand like this. Yes, I will keep on moving my hand like this. Okay, is it moving in a circular way? Yes, so I'm going to make a circle. That way I made a circle here. There is 1 circle here. Going to do the same thing again here. So we're going to make 6 circles. It's going to look almost like your pizza. So keep moving in a circle, and when you're ready, you can put the tip of the pencil on your paper to give that circle, to do the circle. All right. Some circles are big, some are small. I am not really worried about it because hands could be different sizes also, isn't it? We want different cultures, we have different things represented. So that's exactly why I would prefer that we do not really bother about the size. Let it be different. It's okay. So I'm just checking how things are here. Okay, fantastic. Anybody else having any issues so far? Thank you so much for helping. Thanks for helping. Thanks for checking. And I can see that more people are joining in. Thank you very much. So what are we doing for ones that are just joining in? So we are working on making hands like this, and it's going to be hands that are holding each other, joining each other. That's exactly what we are going to do. And for that we have taken a paper and got started by making some lines across so that we divide it like a pizza, 6 pieces, and then we made circles like this. Yeah, We made circles. How did we make circles? We just moved around the hand to make circles. So we have 6 pieces, 6 circles now. So now I am going to do one thing right away. I am going to rub off this line that I drew in between. I don't need it anymore. And look at this. It's getting dirtier because I drew it thicker. So you're very smart. What will you do, children? You will draw it light so it's easier to rub off. Yeah, I have already in the painting paper I've made the hand, so for me it's okay to not work on this paper. But then if you are working on one paper, which I assume will be the case, make sure you're drawing it lightly so it's easy to rub off. Yeah, see how I'm struggling to rub off because I drew it thick. So I have rubbed off the lines, most of it, because I don't need the lines anymore. I need the circles now. Even in the circles I'll be doing some rubbing off later. So that's why I said, it's good to draw it lighter. So I have rubbed off, and when you rub off, what happens? All these dust particles, move them neatly out of your desk or out of a place where you're working. Move them neatly away, and yeah, put them in a place where maybe if you have a dustbin nearby, you can put it there or leave it for putting it later. So let's have a clean desk. It's a clean desk that we have. Okay, for those who are joining in, I'm just repeating what we are doing. We are still working on making these joining hands. That's what we are working on. And right now we divided the paper into 6 pieces like a pizza, and then in this each of the 6 pieces we made 6 circles. And now that we are done with the circles, we don't need the lines. I have removed the lines. Yes, it's done. Okay, and I'm going to check how the video is. Okay, while we wait for others to complete, I'm just checking how things are here. Okay, good. So you're able to see the 6 circles now. I'll make it even more thicker for those who are unable to see. Ideally, you should not thicken it. Do not thicken it. I'm thickening it for people to see it better. Okay? I am making it thick only for people to see it better on the camera. Okay? So now that we have 6 circles, what do? I'm going to start connecting these circles with this wrist. Yeah. So I'm going to make from here to here this one. Yeah. So the bottom 2 circles I'm going to connect like a tube like this. I'm connecting it like a tube like this. Okay. The moment I connect on this circle to the right, I am going to make a V, a large V shape like this. Okay, so we connected with the tube and we made a large V shape like this. Okay, and now I'm going to use this V shape to make a slight curve and go along this circle. Yeah, it's just a curve coming along the circle and touching this line. Yeah, next is I'm going to make 3 lines. 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. Do you see that it's starting to look like a hand? I'm going to make it curvy like this. So these 2 lines I'm connecting with a circle like this. Can you see? Like this. and the last one goes and touches here. So you see that the hand is done. One hand is done. Okay, so I'm going to rub off this part of my circle. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to rub it off. And if you have drawn it lightly, rubbing it off is going to be easier for you than me. So look at it. We already have one hand. We have to connect the next circle. So from this finger to finger here, I'm going to connect and make another bridge. Another bridge is going towards the next circle. Good. And if you are done with that, the next step will be to go and make another V on top of the circle. So let's say the bottom of the circle. There's no top or bottom in a circle, but just for our understanding, let's say that this is the wrist, yeah? So this is the bottom, and to the top of it, where the other hand is going to come, I'm going to make a V. A V, a big V like this, yeah? A big V like this. And once I made the V, I will make a curve out of the V and make it come through like this. And then I will remember to do 1, 2, 3 lines. Why 3 lines? Those lines are the ones, dividing 1, 2, 3. So the 4 fingers are coming out from here, yeah? So I'm just making it like this. Making the curve, small little curve, yeah? So that it looks like the fingers that are holding like this, the curve that is there, yeah? So the last one you make and bring it down to this. Let's see how it comes. I'm going to remove the unwanted lines of the circle. If you're doing faster than me, very good. If you are slow, that don't worry. You can always, try and practice more and more, because we have 4 more hands to do, isn't it? So I'm rubbing off some of this. Oh, I forgot to rub off this one. Yeah, I'm going to rub off this part. Now it starts looking like a hand perfectly, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I have to do a lot of rubbing off because I'm drawing it darker, but you are all smart ones. You're going to draw it light, so it's easier for you to rub off. Yeah. So now from that V of this hand, I am starting to make a bridge going towards the other circle. Yes. There goes the bridge or the wrist of the hand, and right opposite towards this one, I am going to make a V. I'm going to make a V like this. Yeah. I've made a V. And now from this V on the left side of the V, I am making a curve, bringing it down, touching the circle. A curve out of this larger circle and bringing it down, touching the circle. And this side of the V, what will I do? I will draw 1, 2, 3 lines, isn't it? Then I will connect these lines with a loop so that it shows my knuckles of my hand. We are done with the third. What should I do now? I should rub off, yeah? Could we rub off? Yes, I'm rubbing off. So it starts showing. Perfect. a lot of rubbing off because I used a thicker pencil. You can also use a thicker pencil to draw lightly. If you're using only the tip of the pencil and ever so lightly if you handle, it's also possible, yeah. But then I am doing it thicker so that you can see better. That's exactly why, yeah. And now what am I going to do? I have to make so we finished 3 hands. We have 3 more to go. 3 hands done, 3 more to go, yeah. So I am now using this V shape. From this V shape I am building another bridge towards the next circle. Done. And I move around because I find it difficult to work like that, so I keep on moving around my paper as well. So right opposite to this bridge I am making this large V, going out of the V, left side of the V. I am just going out and coming back inside the circle or really close to the circle. Then I am on this side, on the right side of the circle, where after the V I put 1, 2, 3 lines, and then I connect the top of these lines with a ring like this. Okay, there you go. We are done with the 4th hand, but what is still to be done? The erasing, yeah, we're going to erase. It's a lot of erasing happening back and forth, and that's exactly why I said that it's important for us to have a thicker sheet of paper. The more we work on a very thin A4 size paper, the chances is that it gets crushed. Papers get crumbled, crushed, dirty, and so on. And it is good that we can get a thicker paper if that is possible, yeah. Or you be more careful when you are using a lighter paper to work on. Be very careful. Light hands and light erasing, slow erasing, no speeding up will help you keep the paper okay while you make all the adjustments. Yes, good. Right now we have 2 more hands to go. Okay, can we do that? Now we know better, isn't it? So from the V of this hand I am going to draw a bridge. V of the hand, and then there goes the bridge to the other circle, and on the other side of the circle I'm going to make a new V like this. The left side of the V I'll make a curve coming out of this big circle and touching the circle again. The right of the curve, 1, 2 and 3 lines for the 4 fingers, and then the curves going out of the circle. Remember, 4 curves you are making, 4 curves for the 4 fingers, yeah. And once you are done, you can start rubbing off the unwanted lines. Good, very good. Last one. Remember the bridge first, going from the V. I make the bridge. See, it's almost there. We are nearly there. Yeah. So we did the bridge, and opposite of the bridge, this is exactly where I want to put the V. This hand is already there, isn't it? You don't have to do it again. So I'm making the V exactly there. V. So the bridge, the V, and after the V, the left side of the V, I'm going to bring it out of the circle, touching the circle, going back, and then the right of the V, 1, 2 and 3 lines, and then small little curves or circles going around. There you go, we are done. drawing. Okay, it's becoming hard for me to rub off because I really drew it thick. And luckily for me, I have a lighter version ready. Okay, so I am done with the sketching or the drawing. Yeah. So if you are still doing it slow, it is okay. Take your time to do that perfectly while you're waiting. Before I start the painting, I want to show you with a pencil if I am going to color, how will I color? Yeah. So I am taking, let me see. So I have some colored pencils. Yeah, these are colored pencils, and I prefer colored pencils than crayons or pastels. It's a good practice, for people to, um, you know, practice with the hands, doing it perfectly. Because shading really is on its basic level with a pencil. Yeah, so we're going to learn shading today with a pencil, and then I will move on to painting as well. So if I am shading today with a pencil and filling this, I will try not to scratch. We don't do scratching like this. I'm going to show you this type of scratching. What happens here, it's only lines, and if I scratch like this, it's proper lines and it doesn't help me show a skin color. Yeah, so that's not helping me if I scratch like this. So how will I use a color pencil? When I use a color pencil, I'll make sure that I don't hold it like this and write. When you write, when you're writing in your right hand, you're writing like this. Left hand, like me, you're also writing like this. But this is how we hold, isn't it, the pencil? But when we are, let's say when we are shading, I prefer to hold it like this, in between my finger. And move it. Look at the way it's actually on top of my paper, almost flat. Yeah, and I'm going to move in circles. Circle is faster, it doesn't create such lines, it's so light, easier, and I can fill the space really in 2 minutes. Do you see that it doesn't have any scratch? It's the easiest way to color with a pencil. Do not make lines like this. Try and make shades like this as much as possible. There are other techniques also in shading with the pencil, which I will cover as and when we move on to next sessions in detail. But for now, if you are learning how to color, this is a good idea to start, that we don't make scratches, but then we are able to cover really fast in coloring a hand. Yeah. So look at this. Look at the way I'm holding the pencil. So this is the way I would color, at least to start with. Yeah, when I'm doing only one coat. Yeah. So this is the way to color with a color pencil. Okay, those who have only color pencils can continue doing so. But when you are taking the color pencils, remember we want to start with the darker color, the darker brown, and then move on to some lighter tonalities also. That's about coloring with a pencil. What have we seen so far? We've seen how to start drawing such a thing like joining hands. We started with making a pizza cut on the paper, and then we once we have 6 pieces, we use that to make circles. We turned each of the circles by putting a bridge, a V, and a curve out of here, 3 lines here to represent 4 fingers, and then the curves out of there. And then we rubbed off unwanted lines. That's how we did 6 hands connecting each other. We are done with that. And now we move on to really painting. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to take a couple of minutes to check if there is any message that I missed out. Anybody else have any questions before we get started with the painting? You see, I drink a lot of water. It's important if we are working for a longer time to drink something. But don't mix the water that you are using for painting with the one for drinking. Yeah, remember, it should be away. So I am moving my pencil and eraser out of my picture, making sure that it's dust free, the space. And I'm going to move on painting on my painting paper. Yes, this is clean. Cannot see much of it. It's lighter because I wanted to paint on it. Yeah. But then when I use colors, you will see that it's getting darker easily. Yeah. I will start with raw umber, burnt umber, anything that is darker brown. I'm going to start with that. For oil painting, make sure that you use very less of oil paint. If you are using acrylic colors or watercolors, make sure you take as much needed in a separate palette, and then you are ready to get started. I am using the palette here, which is a use and throw palette. If you have wooden palette, plastic palette, depends on what you are trying to do. Could be different. Make sure that it's near you, and we are ready to get started. I'm going to draw the outline of my hand first. So I will take a tiny bit of this color, and I'm taking brush number 0, and I want to do the edges first to define the edge of the hand properly. So I'm only doing the edges or the corners of your picture of the hand only. So I'm focusing on one hand at a time. So I'm just going to work on one hand now, and I'll make sure that I have drawn these edges. Why is this important to draw the edges like this when you're painting? When you're using a bigger brush, the chances are that you accidentally go over and paint in all other places which you should not be painting. Yeah. So I'm taking the same brown color. I'm going to go over, filling it, and the principle is similar. You know, once we did, how did we do the coloring of the pencil? How did we go? Did we do left and right? No, we did in circles. So this is also similar. So I'm going to do it in circles to make sure that it doesn't show any lines. So that's how I'm going to do, and I will do this brown color, and I will tell you why I did this brown color. Do you know how many colors we have in human skin tones? Anyone can answer here in the chat box. Anybody can guess? Or if you know from the previous class, that's also fine. Yeah, we have about 110 skin tones. 110 skin tones in the world. Yeah, so we're just one of them. Isn't it amazing? Why do we have so many different skin tones? We will come to that shortly. Okay, I am done painting one of these hands. Nearly there. Have I done it right? Not really. There are things that I could adjust. Can you see that there are some spaces I have left? Does it make sense to leave a space? Yes and no, maybe. I'm going to take a little bit of white to lighten it up so it shows that there is a line here. For me, the dark brown and the line is not showing, so I'm leaving the space, or I can put a little bit of white also there. It's up to you if you want to show the line or not. I want to show the lines. Remember the lines that we made? I want to show the lines, so I'm just adding a slight bit of white color there. Yeah. So I finished one of these hands, and now I'm going to add a bit more of titanium white. My titanium white that is here is slightly dry. I think I will need a little more. And I want to see how the color changes, yeah. And to that, there's also another color, yellow ochre, that can also be used. So I'm just thinking which one to try first. Should we try yellow ochre? So I have white ready, so it's easy for me to mix. I have a little bit of yellow ochre, and the funny thing is I don't need to wash my brush because this color will blend in. We all blend into the colors because the source colors are the same. Yeah, I'm going to use the same brush number 0, to go over one of the hands. I'm choosing another hand here. So when you do the hand, remember the wrist is also the same, you know. So the bridge that we made, the wrist should also be the same color. Then it looks beautiful. If you have chosen to make another color for the wrist, that's also another wonderful artwork that you are doing. It's called modern art. Could be called modern art, yeah. So I'm taking this lighter color. So this is called yellow ochre. It's called yellow ochre, but it's not yellow. If you see it, it's almost, you know, the lighter version of a brown. And I'm using that color to go over again here and fill this in. So we know now that we have 110 skin tones. Huh? Isn't that amazing? But today we are only going to try and play around with 6 skin tones. Yeah. 6 skin tones. And I'm done with the second. While we are waiting for others to finish their hands, I am going to do a little bit of experiment and show you something here. So we have a globe like this. We live in this earth. Isn't it beautiful earth? Where do we all live? We live in different places, isn't it? Okay. I'm searching for where I belong. I am an Indian, so I am from here. But then I moved on to different places. Yeah, I live somewhere over here now. Yeah. So this is exactly the way our earth is looking like, our globe is looking like, and you could be placed in different parts of this world, and depending upon where you are, right in between in this globe, what happens is that there is something called equator. What is this equator? This shows this line, that's there. It shows actually where the light is. And to me, today, I don't even need to use a torch because there is light coming from my window and telling me that this is where the light falls. Yeah. This is where the light falls. So when a light falls, that's where the sunlight falls more on our globe that is always rotating like this. Yeah. So these sections of the earth are going to get more heat, more sun. Yeah? And the more heat and more sun we have, then our skin has to be able to handle this kind of heat. Then there is something called melanin in our skin cells that make sure that our skin is appropriate for this heat. And that's exactly what makes this nice brown color. That's it. So the more you're going out of this globe and we belong to another place, you're born here, then the chances are that the color is less, and that is correct. It's appropriate that we have different skin tones. And to this right now I am going to add a bit of white and see what happens. So to this yellow ochre, you can try experimenting with both the colors or more. So I'm adding a bit of white. It's a lighter version of this color. I will take that and I will go back to my zero brush to make the edges. Good. This helps me have control over where I want to paint. Yes, now I'm ready to paint. Moving on to the round brush number 4. Have the same color. So I'm painting on again in a circular motion. So there is, what is that is making this color happen in our bodies, in our skin cells? It's called melanin. That melanin, like I said, can be called eumelanin, eumelanin or pheomelanin. Yeah, eumelanin or pheomelanin. What is the difference? We just talked about it. Yeah. Eumelanin is the one that makes one's skin appear in the browny or the darker or blacky side of the hues or the color tones, skin tones. Yeah, eumelanin. But the moment the body is acclimatized to, or you are born in a land that is far away from the equator, center of the globe, then your melanin type is different. What is that? It's called pheomelanin. Pheomelanin. Can we do pheomelanin color ranges now? So for pheomelanin color ranges, I'm going to use the same brown and yellow ochre, but I will add a bit of vermilion. You can add crimson, anything that is working for you. I'm going to add a bit of vermilion here. And then I will also have yellow. Yes, so the red and yellow color ranges are coming in the skin tone because of pheomelanin. Yeah, so I've taken a bit of yellow as well. Okay. Right, I have red and yellow. Which one do we start first? Could we mix the yellow and see what happens? I'm going to mix this time because last time we did only these 3 colors and maybe a little bit of red. I'm going to add yellow to this yellow ochre and see what happens. What is that range? So some of the people, you know, in some countries have this slight yellow tinge in their skin tone, and that's their pheomelanin, yeah, isn't it? So it's going to be slightly yellowy, and I'm going to take a bit of that to see how it is. Okay, I will put it here. It's a bright golden color. Yeah, I like this. I like all the colors. So it's because of the yellow that we added to the yellow ochre. So it's turning almost golden. Yes. Okay, I'm now ready to paint on. See, it looks so similar, but then there is a slight difference in the color range, yeah? And the ones that are using only pencils and sketching, there's another way to do it. You can use the lighter brown to shade first and then go over the same way that we use the pencil using the light yellow on top of it. So you can actually do layer on layer. If you are doing only pencil colors, you can do layer on layer. And for that too, it helps to have a paper that is thicker to hold on to it. If you have a thinner paper, just play it safe. Do it very slowly and lightly. Yeah. Okay. I have finished it. I want the fingers to be visible, so I'm going to take a little bit of the darker brown, the raw umber or burnt umber, and make a line like this. It's up to you. If you do not want a line like this, it's fine to leave it in the same color. I like to show it like this, so I'm just putting a little bit of the color tint here. Yes, so we have pheomelanin color done. One more pheomelanin color. What is that? We are going to add a bit of red or vermilion. And I'm going to see how the color changes. So I had yellow on it. So there's already yellow. There is yellow ochre, and to this I have added the vermilion color. Let's see what happens to this now. The last color. Or last but one, isn't it? So could we do this here? Okay, I'm going to put it here. So this is a pheomelanin color. If you like to write on top of it, you can write what it is on the side. Also, if you want to write pheomelanin or eumelanin. Okay, I have done this hand. What did I do? I've only done the edge marking, so I make sure I don't do any messing up of colors here and there. So I'm taking a little bit of oil, not too much. So it's this, what is this color? Pheomelanin color range, isn't it? And it comes with a mix of yellow ochre, yellow, and a little bit of vermilion. Okay, making circles, and it's easier for me to fill in. Yes. Fill properly, make sure that there is no white space left out nicely. Okay, so I've done with this. The last one, I'm going to add more of white to this color mixture. So it's white, yellow ochre, vermilion, and to that I have added white. So it gets a very light skin tone. So as you can see, we're all a mix of colors. There's no independent color. We're always a mix of colors. So I'm doing this. Going to add a more of white and see if there is a little bit of difference here. Yeah, it is lighter here. So this is the one of the lighter skin tones, or the pheomelanin skin tones. Yeah. And really everything looks even more prettier and beautiful when we all come together, isn't it? Joining hands. That's our concept today, isn't it? So when we join hands, the colors really come out lively, beautiful. Yeah. If you recall your friends, different names of your friends that you like to play with, that you like to laugh around with, yeah, listen to stories together with, go to school with, yeah, remember all these nice things that you can do together. It doesn't matter what color it is, isn't it? There's a lot you can share, different cultures, different food, different music. Yes, we are done painting the hands. So, one last thing we do, last but not the least, is to make sure that we do the background also. Last time I saw the children did a good job, but then it was a really dark color. Oh, the dark color is not wrong. Choosing a background with a dark color is not wrong. What happens that whatever effort that you put here, all this effort, just gets dampened a little bit because you've used a brighter color there. So I want to take a bright color, but I will make it dull enough so it's so light here on the background. That's why it's called background. Yeah. So I'm going to do that, and for that I want to wipe off a little bit of my zero brush, and I am searching for a dirty paper to do that. I found it. So I have a tissue paper like this that I'm going to use to wipe off the color. If you are using watercolors, acrylic colors, then you can wash off with a water and clean it and then use it. If you have another new brush, that's also a good idea to work on. I'm going to take a bit of blue. I think I have some of it, maybe it's dry. I will use it here. So I'm taking, it's called primary blue. You can take sky blue, Prussian blue, phthalo blue, anything that you want. But these blues are really bright, dark colors. Yeah. So I want to use titanium white. Take a little bit of it here, and then I will blend it. And for this I'm going to use another brush that I haven't used before. Right here, it's the flat brush for number 4 that I have with me, but I haven't used it before. And I'm going to mix a bit of this blue to the white, and I will see how it turns. Is it darker, lighter, or so? Yeah, I want it to be slightly lighter, and I think it is fine now, and I will not add more of blue. I think this is okay for me now. Yeah, so this is going to be my color. I will keep this aside. Move the colors that you do not need away from your space so it's not too cluttered. Yeah, going to move the brush away as well. So I'm going to use the smaller brush, the brush number 0, to make the outline. So I'll do the outline here in the center first. So I'm going close to the hand but not touching the hands. Yes. All well. We are doing the blue color. Look what's happening. I think I took a little bit of brown here, so it starts mixing. So when it starts mixing like this, wipe off the brush clean, or if you have water, if you're using watercolors, wipe it off clean. If you're using pencil, then something, a scratch happened, try to erase it neatly before you start. Yes, this is done. So the outlining is done on the inner side of the hands, isn't it? So now I'm ready to do the center. So I'm going to take some oil and make sure that I fill in this. Again, I'll try to do a circular motion, not to have lines around. So I'm moving my brush around in a circular way. So isn't this blue bright enough? It is bright, but it is not too bright that it will overpower the effort that we put in on the hands, isn't it? So I'm making sure that it doesn't overpower. It's light enough. If you want to lighten it even more, it's also good to add some more white to lighten it up. For me, it looks okay, not too bright, not too dull. I'm okay with this. I'm just moving ahead, yeah, the center, and I'm checking if I've done complete justice, not left out any space. Okay, I think I am done with the inner side of it. The outer side is also going to be like that. I will see what happens to the brush. Can you see that there's a lot of color sitting on the edge of the brush? So I want to take it out and put it back in the palette. Don't want to waste that. So I'm ready to get started with the outer coating, and I am making that here close to the edge to be sure. I saw in last session that we did, one of our students had done a very nice, instead of a blue, he did a black outline and then he did the blue background. That was also good. It doesn't matter. I'm using the same color for the outlining. It gives another level of beauty. It's up to you to choose the outlines that you want to draw. So as I'm going, I can see that my color is blending with the brown. So I'm wiping off my brush and taking the cleaner color. Nearly there, coming close to the last two hands. If you are doing it a little slow, that is fine. Take your own time. Even after the class is finished, you can continue watching the video later and playing it again and again and learning from this. Yeah, so keep on doing it slowly, steadily in your own pace. Okay, so I am done with the outer line that I wanted to draw. So I'm ready for the painting. I'm not wasting the paint in my brush. So I'm just rolling the brush and using it in the space where I'm going to paint any which ways. So I'm going to start painting up. Again, a circular motion. I don't want any lines to appear. So I'm moving the oil around. Isn't that a beautiful painting that we have all made together today? Yeah, it's already looking nice with all the different colors. Okay. Right, I'm nearly there with this side. So I'm just making sure that even these small little sides of my paper is complete. Do not miss any space. Try to fill everything properly. Okay, gonna move around here. If it is watercolors, don't be in a hurry to take too much of water. Even for acrylic, it could dilute the color too much that you don't want to. Maybe it doesn't look like the same anymore, so just be aware of that. And another thing is that water starts flowing in the places that you don't want it to flow, so don't be in a hurry to add more water and speed up the process. Maybe it doesn't need that much water, maybe it's slow, but still you will arrive there. So I am done with this side now, I think. I'm going to move on to the other side, bringing it close to me. That is convenient. So the kind of movement that I am making with the brush is like sweeping off. It is a zigzag movement, but then this zigzag movement will help me make sure that the paint goes on evenly without any marks. But that's possible only when you make the tip of the brush touch the paper. If you go over like this in detail, maybe, can you see? It doesn't help. It doesn't help. It still looks absurd. Yeah. So it has to be very light like this. Okay, I am nearly done with this side. There is one corner left. Okay, moving it around again. So I want to correct this mistake that I made, blending it properly. Circular motion will always help. If you are doing this zigzag motion, be aware it's only the tip of the brush that has to hit the paper. Okay. Once you're nearly there, if you're done already, remember to go and wash the brushes, put things back neatly, clean up the desk completely. So that's also part of painting. Yeah, it's also part of artwork that you maintain the equipments of art neat and tidy. Yeah, so if you are very fast, then ask if you have completed. Yeah, do the cleaning of the paint brushes, palette, your desk, and put them all in a nice place, clean and dry place once it's done. Yeah, and also remember, once you are done, put your name there when it dries, and put your name, take a picture and also share it with us. Here I am going to give you the email address, support@dglazestudio.dk. So please send all your finished pictures to support at the glaze, GLAC THEGLACSTUDIO.DK. Yeah, that's what you're going to send. So we are done today with our nice drawing and painting. What did we do? We just quickly summarize before we log out. So we split the paper into 6 pizza pieces, and then we drew circles. From the circles we put bridges for the wrist of the hand, and then a V, and then 3 lines on the side to represent the fingers of the hand. And then once we are done with it, we removed the unwanted lines or the circle. So that's how we did. And when we color with the pencil, we agreed that we will not scratch like this. We will rather use the pencil flat. Yeah, where is the pencil? I don't see it anymore, but yes, we'll use it flat to move around and yeah, color. And if you're using another color on top of it, you can also layer with another color on top of it to have different colors, multiple colors. When you are coloring, when we are painting, we did mix colors. We started with the raw umber, burnt umber, and did this, and then moved on to do a yellow ochre color. Then we added a little bit of white to these to see what happens. So these color hues are the hue melanin type of color tones that is available on the globe of skin colors or skin tones of people that are closer to the equator will have this hue melanin. And when we had to move on to people who are away from the equator, what did we do? We added a bit of yellow, and we added a bit of vermilion or crimson also to get the other color tonalities, which is called pheomelanin. And there we go, we had that. So we are done with that. And then after that we used a blue, added it with white to do a background that is nice and neat. It's bright enough but not too bright that it will overpower the beautiful work that we did here. So we are done. We learned a lot about melanin, melatonin, and also 110 different skin colors that could possibly be on this beautiful earth. So that was what we learned today. I am so happy to have shared this with you and hope you all liked it. Thank you very much for joining in and see you in the next class. I will let you know when the next class is ready. Yeah. Bye bye.